Like I said when I got here, we're quite different than a lot of the roofing contractors out there. We're counting on technology to take us into the future, and we've still got people climbing in attics and walking around on the top of the roofs, but that's not the way we do it. This particular house is about a $2 million home, and the lady that owns it is a big deal with REMAX. REMAX sends us a lot of customers. Realtors are technically not allowed to recommend contractors, but why wouldn't they point their customer to the contractor that really knows his business? We can actually quote the roofing project on a home without even seeing the home because our IT technology will measure the house for us. So I already know down to the nail how much materials it will take to do your home. The insurance companies now are using drones and satellite images to inspect their customers' roofs, and the customers are getting canceled. So we get urgent calls every day from somebody like this lady who had a 30-day cancellation notice on her $600,000 home that says, yeah, we're not going to cover you anymore because of the condition of the roof. We're a roofing expert. This is all we do. We've got 3 crews that are out there every day doing this work. They're certified by the manufacturer, and they're under very close supervision. This is Michelle, who manages our office, and she deals with everything regarding customer service, the financing that we set up for our customers, the scheduling of materials and dumpsters, and the crew, and also the supervision of the crew. These photos are coming back of your job during the project so that we can see exactly what was done and how. The crew has very specific instructions by the manufacturer. The manufacturer actually does certification and training of the installation crew. So at the end of the job, we've got 3 people that sign off on the warranty registration. Every warranty gets registered. The reason is we're dealing with CertainTeed that's been around since 1904, and because we do so much work and recommend them first, then the warranty registration is free. That's a problem for a lot of the contractors because they have to pay a lot of money to register a warranty. Well, 95% of contractors are not even registered. They just buying materials and putting it on people's homes. So what people think is, I've got a 30-year shingle on my roof, I'm safe. Well, that shingle may have some kind of warranty on it, but what's the proof that it's on your house? And what's the proof that it's on your house properly? So if you've got a problem 5 years down the road, don't bother calling that Owens Corning or whoever that shingle came from. Forbes rates everything, as you know, and they rate CertainTeed as #1 in roofing. The CertainTeed has 65 factories throughout the U.S. and Canada. They've been around since 1904. Their product was always known to be the premium product, but they really want this middle market. That's why they're working with companies like us. We're doing more roofing than just about anyone in this area. We have the highest rating with the manufacturer. Select allows us to give you a really outstanding warranty, and we'll talk a little bit about that later. Most people at the beginning of this conversation don't care that much about warranties till they find out they might buy a shingle that has no warranty. A year down the road, who are you going to call? You're not going to call the manufacturer. You're going to call the contractor if he's still in business. And who knows how he did the job because he's not being supervised. This is Mike Ferguson. He's a regional manager for CertainTeed. He really appreciates our business because he benefits from it. But he has 150 different roofing contractors that buy his products. Why would he call RainDog Roofing when he needs a new roof? He called and said, "This is a social call. My roof is leaking. My wife's going to kick me out if I don't get this roof replaced." And so we went out there as quick as we could, and this is his job in progress. Well, here's the morning of the first day of his job. The materials are there, the dumpster's there, and that's the condition of the roof, 20 years old. This is the end of that day. Completely done, perfectly to the manufacturer's requirements. His neighbor from across the street, pretty meticulous guy, saw that job going on. He called us that turns into the next job that we do. Now you can see the house next door to that. That's a 20-year-old roof. It's going to have to be replaced too. We got 5 jobs on that street. People watch our crew work. They can see how professional they are. They see the end with the high quality of the product. Capping and flashing. This is really critical on a house like this because it's right there on the face. So these guys are artists with these products, and this is what our crews do every day. They're not doing other types of home improvements. It's roofing day after day, and they love what they do. So that's a pleasure for us because they're excited to get up and go to work every day. And we're depending on people that want to excel in their craft, that show up every day, that work hard, and take good care of our customers. We are experts. Our mission is to provide permanent roofing solutions for our customers with the finest products and best craftsmanship and service. That's what you want, right? Here's a house that's only 15 years old. You can see the condition of that roof. Some shingles blew off. He had some of the original shingles in his garage, and that's what we used to patch in up there. He said that when he had the house built, he asked the builder why this area was lighter than the rest of the shingles on the roof. And the builder said those shingles came from a different dye lot. That's the problem with other roofing manufacturers other than CertainTeed. CertainTeed has mastered the color, so we don't have to worry about this dye lot problem. Here's the caution message that you have on those shingles. You're not guaranteed that shingles from a different dye lot are going to match in color. And there's a problem that he said bothered him for 15 years. He's glad he's finally getting his roof replaced. And then at the end of the job, this is how it looks, and it'll look that way for the next 50 years. This is where Michelle lives. She's the manager in Pittsburgh. That roof, that's a condo association, so she didn't pick the roof, and she would have known better. But this is one of the most well-known manufacturers here. That roof is only 7 years old, and it's already streaked like that. Do you call the manufacturer? Probably not. I think the Amish installed it, so where are the receipts for that? And what would the manufacturer do about it? Some people say power wash it to get rid of those streaks. The streaks are caused by algae. And I've got a flyer in my folder that shows a little bit about that. But our warranty on algae and streaks has gone from 10 years to 30 years just in the past 5 years. That's the technology that's going on inside of CertainTeed. This is the warranty that you find online for the most popular shingle in this market. The standard product limited warranty is only 5 to 10 years. The whole system warranty is only 5 to 10 years. Now you can buy a longer warranty, but it says right here, if you purchase a system warranty through an Owens Corning Roofing preferred contractor, that's the only way you can get that big warranty. Be sure to have them register your warranty. That was a big complaint at the Better Business Bureau. I find out 10 years down the road I have no warranty because it was never registered. You'll receive your warranty packet directly from us. CertainTeed was the first company to get into the dimensional product. This is designed to look like wood shake. So that was back in the 70s. So CertainTeed's been around since 1904. This is the way this product looks today. Because it's heavier, thicker, and more dimensional, you've got deeper shadow lines and just a rich look all the way around. There's 14 different colors that are always in stock for us, and there's a combination of lighter and darker colors in each shingle, so it does give that rich dimensional look when the job is finished. This is the oldest house in Shadyside. That house is over 200 years old, so we took slate off of that roof. We had to do some pointing with the chimneys and difficult flashing and capping, but for us that's a typical job. We go there, do that job in 1 or 2 days, and never hear from the customer again unless he's got another customer to send us, and that just happened. I don't know, you told me where you heard about us, but anywhere you look online, a lot of customers, when I show up, they say, I've already checked you guys out. I looked at Google, and I saw really nice reviews. And that's what you'll see online. Of course, we're A+ with the Better Business Bureau. These companies like Angie's List, contractors buy your contact information when you inquire about something like a roof. There are areas where there aren't so many roofers that buy them, so they're going to look online and find the best roofer to recommend. So we get a lot of work without paying them. We get a lot of work from Angie and Home Advisor. CraftJack, Modernize, those are all companies that will find you a pre-screened, insured contractor to do the work. Everybody wants to know how much does it cost and when can you do the work. You're doing your homework. You're looking for a local company that's established, reputable, properly insured, that use quality products, qualified labor, that there's going to be an expert installation at the end of the job, and a written warranty by someone who can stand behind it. Finally, you want a return on investment if you decide to sell the home in the future, and it has to be affordable, right? That's the only way you're going to move forward. So this is the home improvement industry, and roofing in particular. So Dilbert here says the roof is leaking there. Can you fix it tomorrow? The little contractor with the cap on says, well, like all members of my profession, I'm unreliable. However, I could give you a quote and then never show up or return your calls. And Dilbert says, you're hired. Nobody else would show up for the quote. I hear that every day. The little contractor says, well, I depend on repeat customers. So you have choices about who's going to do this project for you. And the guy you don't want is Bob the roofer. In this state, you can't buy workers' comp on yourself. So you're not going to have you're going to have somebody up there on that roof that's not insured. And God forbid there's an accident, then everybody's got problems. That's not what you want, right? The mid-range home improvement company, that's usually the jack of all trades and what? Master of none. So if they get one roofing job a month, then they have to go to a bar to find a roofing contractor to do the job. And it may be somebody that they've never used before, so now you've got a crapshoot. You're better off, and I think you'd agree, that if you get a premium company, you'd like to find a specialist that's fully insured and that has supervision going on, because they have to control what goes on throughout the job site to make sure that you've got something that's going to last the duration of this warranty. Our manufacturer has such confidence in us that they go out and train our crews on site. They'll go out and go through the training program and written certification with the installation crew. That certification test is available in English and Spanish, and you'll see why in a little while here. So the important things to consider that you already told me earlier in that survey: the company, the product, the warranty, the installation, return on investment, and then finally affordability. Most new contractors that just get into the business will fail. Half of them in the first year, 96% within 5 years. So if you get somebody that's brand new in the business, you're gambling. This is a huge industry. It's actually about $500 billion now. The statistics haven't changed much. Behind the scenes, we have a staff of people that are there to make sure that the jobs go right and that the customer is happy and comfortable throughout the process. What we ask our customers to do, because our crew is doing a dangerous job, we don't want them to climb up the ladder to ask a question. We'd like you to call the office or text the office, and we'll get into a three-way conversation with our team leader who's in charge of the crew leader. Makes the process really simple and comfortable. We're going to keep growing as a company because of our 5-star reputation, quality service, customer satisfaction. We work with you. If something unexpected happens, you might not even know about it. If there's some bad wood or something, we'll replace it. We don't need to get into a lot of conversation because we're kind of unique. No matter how much bad wood we find, we take care of it. There's a couple reasons why. One is we're going to replace it. It doesn't matter. If somebody says, I'm not paying for it, then that would be a case. But we set up financing for a lot of people that can barely afford to buy the new roof. We don't want to go back and ask them for more money later. And the bottom line is always has to be done right. We educate you about your options, and we'll make the whole process easy, all the way down to financing. We are registered with the state. We're fully insured, so there's peace of mind for you there. So after getting to know our company, you can understand why we have over 20,000 families that have put their confidence in us. You've probably seen this guy on TV. He's the homes expert. He's the one that goes to the house when a contractor is screwed up. I don't think the guy actually likes contractors. He blames them all for everything. But he says after doing his job for so many years, he finds that everybody makes their mistake. They want it cheap and fast. They find out at the end they got crap. And then nobody wants to spend more money than they have to on a renovation. But as the saying goes, you get what you pay for. So we're not talking about just roofing. We're talking about a whole roofing system. We're required to inspect the ventilation in your attic space because we're expecting to put a product on your roof that would last for 50 years. So the only way to do that is make sure you don't have a moisture problem in the wintertime from that attic space not being well ventilated. Then of course in the summer you're going to have a cooler attic space if you've got the proper amount of ventilation. A lot of contractors are going to the lumber store and are buying whatever product is cheapest. Of course, the cheapest thing is the old stuff, the tar paper. What we're using today is designed, we're the same manufacturer's products throughout the installation. So this synthetic underlayment has replaced tar paper. It's reflective, so again, your attic space is going to be cooler. It's waterproof, so once that's in place, your roof is dried in. That way, within a few hours of showing up at the job site, usually the whole roof is dried in. And with the builders, we'll leave this synthetic in place until sometimes when the house is sold, the owner can pick the buyer can pick whether they want red or green or blue. And this is installed with button caps if it's going to be sitting there for a while. Inflation is something people talk about every day, and the fact is, since 1960, 3.8% has been the average. So every 10 years, everything goes up 50%. Every 20 years, it doubles, except for TVs. For some reason, TVs get cheaper, but that's what we can expect. So 10 years from now, your roof is completely still under warranty. It's worth 50% more. So you've made a good investment to invest in a product that's designed to last for a long time. And I keep hearing about people that bought a 30 or 40 year shingle and then they think they've got a roof that's going to be good for that long and find out otherwise, especially through their insurance company, because they'll ask that question flat out. And you would have evidence that your roof is a premium system that's designed to last a lot longer than most conventional roofing systems. We're doing everything the professional way, the way the manufacturer requires for the warranties that we're allowed to offer. Of course, the first thing is we get everything off of your roof and we inspect that. We're going to see a wood deck, just what the builder saw when the house was originally built. And we're going to inspect that deck. Any bad wood that is seen gets replaced. How do we guarantee that it gets replaced? We actually bonus the crew by the square footage that they do replace. They send us a picture, they give a request for the material within an hour. It's at the job site and the crew does the replacement, so it's all brand new condition wood underneath those shingles. So the deck's inspected, bad wood is removed, new wood is installed, your deck's ready for a new roof. We strip off everything. Sometimes we find a little bit of wood, sometimes a little more, little more, little more. This is a big trick by some of these roofing contractors. They're going to come back and charge you for a lot of bad wood at the end of the job. They're not going to include it in the quote. We don't include it in the quote. We're just ready to take the lump if somebody does have a lot of bad wood up there. Then at the end of the job, this contractor might come back and say, hey, you owe me $5,600, you owe me $7,800. Now you don't have to wonder anymore why that quote was so cheap. We replace all the pipe boots. and then we put ice and water protection around those. This is ice and water protection, which I have here in my folder. This is made by CertainTeed. It's called Winter Guard. It comes in rolls that are 3 feet wide. It goes around the perimeter into the valleys. Anywhere that we're doing flashing as extra precaution that we're never going to have a leak. This has a really strong adhesive on the back of it. So the guys lay it out, fold it back, pull the strip off the inside, and then lay it down to the deck. That adhesive is so strong that if you wanted to lift it back up, you'd have to use a flat shovel in order to do it. The other thing that I talked about a few minutes ago is the streak fighter warranty. The secret to this is the algae is caused by, streaks are caused by algae. And the prevention for algae, and some customers, as scientists, just talked to me a little bit about it, is a copper layer in these ceramic beads. So that prevents you from getting those streaks. And they must have really perfected it, because that warranty just went from 10 years to 30 years. And I usually write 30 years here, so I'm instilling the durability of the product. This is an improved flat roofing material, so when you put a nail in there, it seals itself. This wraps around the edge of the plywood, so that ice and water that's backing up in the gutters in the wintertime can't get to your roof. These roofs are ready now for the shingles. Of course, we have a few different types of high quality shingles. This is our 10-step system for installing a roof. Course number 1 is tear off your existing roofing, replace all the bad lumber. Then we go to the Winter Guard product, goes around the perimeter into the valleys, etc. New premium drip edge all the way around. The synthetic underlayment, like I said, this is reflective. It also doesn't get slippery when it gets wet, so if the crew's working and the rain kicks up, we don't have to worry about their safety. And then we also use a starter layer for the shingle. Most roofers are taking a shingle and turning it backwards so they can get a straight edge around the perimeter to get the roof job started. We have a special starter shingle that is stronger and more flexible, so when you get the ice in the gutters or the heavy high winds, it's preventing anything from blowing off. That's what helps get you the 130 mile per hour wind load warranty. Your homeowner's insurance costs will go down by having a roof system like this on your house. My customers all say they're saving money when they share the information with the insurance company. So ventilation is the other thing that we talked about, and then the product, which I'll show you, is a CertainTeed Landmark dual layered dimensional high def reflective architectural shingle. So it's the best looking product in the marketplace. This is the sloppy Joe way. You don't know by looking at the picture if it was a bad installation or if it's a cheap product. If the product is installed wrong, you can't fix it. You're going to end up. We've replaced roofs that are not even a year old, where somebody had a new roof put on. The roof didn't leak in the first place, but after the new roof is put on, it's leaking, and then they can't get the contractor back out to take care of it. So it's impossible to fix a roof that's installed improperly. Now here's the worst roofing job ever. This customer got paid for wind damage, and this fella that's on the job thinks he's looking at wind damage at first, like the insurance adjuster did, but finds out it was all installed improperly. They put all the nails in the wrong place, and even such a bad spot to put the nails that the nails were shot through the shingle. So this roof is just falling off that house.
The whole row actually disappears right here. Hi there, welcome back. This is Elvis from RoutinUp.ca. I'm in Oakville, and we're actually about to tear off this whole front because of the amount of wind damage that's here. I mean, as you can see, it's pretty extensive. Me personally, never seen anything like it. Okay, I mean, it was never nailed properly. If you guys just come over here for a minute, I'm going to show you what happened here. Never mind, the workmanship is one thing here, but you can see how high his nails are. He's actually missed the whole neck shingle, and not even that. You can see where the nailing line is here. It's actually where the shingle gets thick. Okay, so for you guys that are nailing,
so ours is clearly marked. We know 4 nails in each shingle gets you 130 mile per hour wind load warranty, and 6 nails, by the way, is hurricane at 160 mile per hour. So in the south or at the coastlines, they can put the 160 mile per hour shingle up there. We don't want your attic to get too hot in the wintertime. We don't want it to be closed off from ventilation in the winter, because that'll cause moisture in there. Recently, I got a picture from Michelle. The crew was on the job site. Said all this plywood has to be replaced. Plywood looked brand new. When you turned it over, it was rotting from the underside because of bad ventilation in the attic space. That's something we're required to check out. Then we have a patented ridge vent that actually pulls the air through the attic space. You don't need a breeze for that to work effectively. So we cut out the peak of the roof, and that's where this is a filtered ridge vent. We can also they build a lot of houses when they're trying to build them cheaper and cheaper with no overhangs, so there's no intake. And some of these houses have little vents at the gable ends of the attic. When we do the right type of ventilation, we block those off, because you don't want 2 different types of ventilation going on in an attic space. So we're looking for 100% customer satisfaction, excellent quality of workmanship, excellent quality of product, excellent service. And the manufacturer rewards veterans. Anybody that's a veteran gets a $250 gift card from Certainteed to Cabela. So our pledges are courteous estimates, guaranteed low prices, no hidden charges, first quality materials, certified master installers or factory trained and certified, full insurance, the industry's best warranty, then quality control. Inspection throughout the project is inspected, but inspection upon completion. Something on the front of this folder is this Google guaranteed. We let Google check us out so they know we're financially secure and we're insured, and that we're a good, dependable contractor. They did call a lot of customers. I was kind of surprised about that. But pros are pre-screened and insured. You're guaranteed to get the job done right or get your money back. There's your money back guarantee. This customer needs a new roof, and he was a roofing contractor and got hurt on the job, and his wife made him change his field. He became a home builder, so he built that really nice home there for himself. And I like to show my customers what he had to say. Really fell in love with the crew. He was also a big fan of Certainteed. He knew the product. A lot of people don't know what it is if they're not in the trade, but they're one of the largest asphalt roofing manufacturers in the world. They're owned by Saint-Gobain, which is the largest residential building supplier in the world, out of France. So they're privately owned. So then this. I want them to see the Hispanic faces in this presentation so that nobody gets shocked when a van pulls up and these guys jump out. And I say this video is about 5 years old. This crew still works for us every day.
So I realized I needed a new roof. So I got online on Facebook, to be exact. And so I called a matter of 4 companies.
So people
all
are
4
listening
of
to
them.
me too. Huh?
Prices all over the place. I decided to go with Pro Roofing because they had the the Certainty product, which was made right in Ohio across the line. I've been in construction all my life, and I've dealt with Certainty products before and knew they were quality products. The crew that's doing the work came here yesterday, and they all got out of their vehicle and tore right into the work like I never saw 5 people work so hard in my life. They did a tremendous job at cleaning out the shrubbery, patio. They protected everything from damage, and they're very hard workers, and I watched them install this so fast, it's unbelievable.
So we have a team leader, and he's in charge of the crew leaders. When he was working as a crew leader, I could see that he was teaching and training and supervising the crew, so I knew he'd be good for the team leader. So if there's a question or anything about the job, he's in constant contact with the crew leader and also constant contact with the office. So we always know where the crew is at in the relation to the completion of the job. And then I asked him a question here that I already knew the answer to. I just wanted to see how he explained it. He actually came up with a pretty good idea to show me. There's a nailing line. Looks like it's 1.25 inches wide or 1.5 inches.
Right here,
But-
the nails right here, like here. Look.
But the sweet spot is between the little line, because that's where you're hitting the heavy part of the shingle.
Right here is double. That's why you gotta hit. No, here because it goes through.
Why do some people high nail it?
Look.
The wrong place? Wow. The right place. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. This job's up on Mount Washington. From the outside, you can't tell how much bad wood there is. I took this picture. That's his Facebook profile picture. He's the king of the Pittsburgh roofers. And this is what we found underneath the shingles. We had to cover that whole roof with plywood. Customer didn't pay any more. It's just taken care of. We have all the right tools and the safety equipment to get the job done right, and more importantly, that the crew is safe. They're wearing harnesses up there, so they're not going to fall off that roof. That bundle weighs 90 pounds. You go into a lumber store, you'll see that the shingles are about 60, 65 pounds per bundle. 3 bundles per square.
guys are tied off.
So I show this early in the presentation just to get them kind of stoked about the difference they're going to have. Here's how this whole roof looked like this. The end of the job looks like a new home. There's the after picture. That trifold that I have with the shingle colors in it is magical, because I did have another sample that I liked a lot, but that's a better way to show the colors. And it's not as tricky to get somebody to pick the color as you might think. I think there'd be a lot of conversation going back and forth, but they usually pick pretty quick. A lot of people say, why don't you have a simple house like mine in there? I have pictures of them, they just don't make it to the catalog. That's the color customer the other day just chose, but I didn't have a sample of it, which I'm going to take him tomorrow night. That house had slate. The son-in-law says you can't remove that. That's part of the architectural character of this house. After, better looking house. Put the little roof over the front bay window that was leaking anyway.